Welcome to the Canadian Scrapbooker Magazine web show. My name is Jackie. Smackdown. You're going to love it. Smackdown is a technique developed by the amazing stamp guru Kathy Allen. Kathy has been stamping for over 25 years and is just absolutely a well full of information. This technique, along with tons others of Kathy's, can be seen in our Canadian Scrapbooker Basics Volume 6 that is on newsstands today, and you really need to get that issue in your hands so that you can see projects like this stepped out beautifully for all different kinds of projects. So today we're going to be doing Smackdown. It's one of Kathy's probably most popular techniques, and you can see it right here in the background of this sympathy card. It's that beautiful background over there. When you do this technique, you have to think a little tiny bit differently when you're using your stamp. For today's project, we're going to use this Stampin' Up flower stamp, and we're not going to think of it as a stamping straight down to create an image, a crisp image. We're going to be thinking of the stamp as an applicator of ink, and we want these loose images. We don't want them to be perfect, and that's why Smackdown is a fabulous technique for all different levels of scrapbookers. Let's see here what I mean in a second. So using some Clear Snap fluid chalk ink, we're going to start off, we're going to work from light colors to dark colors. We're going to apply the ink to the stamp, and we're literally going to smack this stamp down, and that's why it's called Smackdown. See that? And I'm creating this beautiful background using my stamp as an ink applicator. So there I have some very loose images on this piece of paper, this piece of super stock, and that's what I'm working with, is Canadian Scrapbooker super stock. It's a heavyweight cardstock that's going to be able to handle all of the different layers of ink that I'm putting on it. I'm going to load my stylus and my white foam tip with some of this soft blue ink, and I'm going to simply wand this color in and around the images that I've stamped. So I'm creating the first layer of this background piece of paper. I'm going to move on to the next shade of blue from this Petal Point collection from Clear Snap. I don't have to wash my stamp because I'm going from light to dark, okay? I'm going to load the stamp, and once again I'm going to smack down and apply the ink to the background piece. Isn't that fun? This is foolproof. Anybody can create a beautiful background using this technique. Kathy, you're a genius. Kathy Allen, you are a genius. Here we go, same thing. And then once again, we will go in and we'll wand the same color for the second layer in and around the image that we've stamped. Of course, you do it just until you're pleased with it. You're the only one who has to be pleased with it. Now the final one that I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp in what Kathy calls a normal fashion. So I'm not going to smack down. I'm just going to stamp and get a kind of a crisp image, but it's okay if it moves a bit and it's not perfect. I'm going to use the third shade, the darkest shade of ink, and this has just been freshly re-inked, so you can see how juicy it is. I am going to offload it because I'm not sure I want this amount of darkness or this value of ink, so I'm going to offload over there, and then I'm going to stamp on my project. Again, I'll show you what I mean by offload. This is a really juicy ink pad right now, so I'm going to take it and I'm just going to offload onto a scrap piece of paper, one shade, and then I'm going to come here. I'll show you the difference. I'll do one with a first value. I'll do it up in this corner. See how he's quite a bit darker and these ones are a little bit more loose? The next thing that I'm going to teach just briefly here with this card is how I created these cute little flowers. We're going to use the Kathy Allen Position It. I'm going to use some pattern paper from Die Cuts with a View, the same that's in the background. Tape it into place so that it does not move. And then ink my stamp. This is a nice juicy stamp pad. I'm going to hold that positioner into place, pop it in, and stamp down. There. Now I'm not quite satisfied with the color. I want it to be darker, so while it's in the Position It, that's the whole point, I'm going to load my ink pad up once again with ink, and I'm going to stamp again, knowing which side is the bottom. Line it up, push my sub positioner into place so it doesn't move, go over top, and stamp again. See how it's getting darker? I'm going to do it one more time just because I can and I don't have to worry about it moving. I'm going to put it on, stamp over top, and I've got a nice dark image. And we're going to cut it out. There we go, I got it done. What I like to do when I cut things out is I always like to edge around the edges to give it a nice black finish. That is something that also Kathy Allen has me addicted to. So I'm just going to go with my black felt marker and I'm going to just outline it just to finish off that edge. Now, again, it's so easy to sculpt to make these look a little bit more realistic, like you see here in the card. They're a little bit more puffy. Okay? Basically what you do is you just grab your fingers, just like this, so that it sits up. We're going to use our Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L foam squares. They're my favorite. To pop them up and to layer them on the card. The pattern paper that we used to create this card is from Die Cuts with a View. I also used the Die Cuts with a View pattern paper to create the flowers that you see, the popped up flowers. The stamp Smackdown technique was performed using a piece of Canadian Scrapbooker Superstock, as is the blue mat that's around the edges of the Smackdown background piece. The edge was punched out using an EK Success border punch. We used the Kathy Allen Position It to create the flowers. The stamps that I used, both the sentiment and the flower, are from Stampin' Up. All of the ink is from Clear Snap, and this all came together using Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L foam squares and their tape runner. Beautiful, heartfelt sympathy card that will definitely make somebody smile when they're feeling blue. Until next time, take care and happy scrapbooking.